Captain Marcus Webb stood at the observation deck of the UES Defiant, watching the stars drift past in the endless black of space. At 42 years old, Webb had spent nearly half his life among the stars, but the sight still filled him with wonder. His weathered hands clasped behind his back, he gazed out at the Centauri nebula's purple and gold swirls that painted the cosmic canvas before them. The Defiant was humanity's newest patrol vessel, sleek and efficient, but nothing compared to the massive battleships that protected Earth's core systems. With only 300 crew members aboard, they were tasked with monitoring the outer rim territories where pirates and smugglers occasionally caused trouble. It was quiet work, the kind that let a man think too much about home. Lieutenant Commander Rachel Stone approached from behind, her footsteps echoing softly on the metal deck. Stone was Webb's second in command, a brilliant tactician with sharp green eyes that missed nothing. She had served with Webb for 3 years now, and he trusted her judgment more than anyone else in the fleet. "Captain, we're receiving some unusual readings from long-range sensors," Stone reported, her voice carrying a note of concern that immediately caught Webb's attention. "Chief Petty Officer Rodriguez wants you to take a look at the tactical display." Webb followed Stone to the bridge, where the crew was going about their routine duties. The bridge hummed with quiet efficiency, banks of monitors displaying star charts, system status reports, and communication channels. Chief Petty Officer Miguel Rodriguez stood at the sensor station, his dark eyes fixed on the readings with intense concentration. Rodriguez was the best sensor operator Webb had ever worked with. The man could detect a single ship at distances that should have been impossible, and his instincts about space anomalies had saved them more than once. If Rodriguez was worried about something, Webb knew it deserved immediate attention. "What do you have for me, Chief?" Webb asked, moving to stand beside the sensor console. Rodriguez pointed to the main display where dozens of red dots were arranged in a perfect formation. "Sir, I'm picking up multiple contacts at extreme range. The computer says there are over 600 vessels approaching from the Vega sector. They're still 4 hours out, but they're definitely heading toward Earth space." Webb felt his blood turn cold. 600 ships was more than the entire Earth defense fleet combined. No human organization possessed that many vessels, and no known alien species had ever demonstrated such massive fleet capabilities. "Are you certain about these readings?" Webb asked, though he already knew Rodriguez wouldn't report something unless he was absolutely sure. "Yes, sir. I've run the scan 3 times. The energy signatures are completely foreign. Nothing in our database matches them. Captain, some of these ships are reading as over 3 kilometers long. They're absolutely massive." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Stone moved to the communication station while Webb continued studying the sensor data. The formation was too perfect, too organized to be anything other than a military fleet, and they were heading directly for humanity's home system. Supreme Commander Vorthak stood on the command deck of the massive Caltharian dreadnought Void Crusher, his 4 arms crossed behind his towering frame. The bridge stretched out before him like a cathedral of war, filled with holographic displays showing the positions of his 600 ships. Each vessel in his armada was a masterpiece of destruction, capable of reducing entire planets to cosmic dust. Vorthak's species, the Caltharians, had conquered 47 star systems over the past century. Their military doctrine was simple and effective: overwhelming force followed by complete subjugation. No species had ever successfully resisted them for more than a few hours. Today, they would add humanity to their long list of conquered civilizations. "Report on the human defenses," Vorthak commanded, his deep voice resonating through the bridge. His tactical officer, Sub-Commander Krex, manipulated the holographic display to show Earth's solar system. "Intelligence indicates minimal resistance, Supreme Commander," Krex replied with confidence. "The humans possess approximately 200 combat vessels scattered across their territory. Most are small patrol ships with primitive weapons. Their largest battleships are less than half the size of our destroyers." Vorthak nodded slowly, his pale blue skin gleaming under the bridge lights. The Caltharians had been observing humanity for months, cataloging their weaknesses and studying their military capabilities. What they found was disappointing. Humans were clearly a young species, barely capable of interstellar travel, with technology that lagged centuries behind Caltharian standards. What of their planetary defenses? Vorthak asked. Orbital stations around their core worlds, nothing that our main guns cannot penetrate within minutes. Their ground forces appear to be designed for fighting each other rather than defending, against superior alien technology. The bridge filled with the harsh laughter of Caltharian officers. It was almost insulting how easy this conquest would be. Vorthak had hoped for at least some challenge, something to test his fleet's new weapon systems. Instead, they would face what amounted to children playing with toys. Meanwhile, aboard the Defiant, Captain Webb had opened emergency communications with Earth Command. Admiral Victoria Cross appeared on the main view screen, her gray hair pulled back severely and her face etched with concern. Behind her, Webb could see the chaos of Earth's military headquarters as officers scrambled to respond to the crisis. "Marcus, confirm your report," Admiral Cross said without preamble. 600 hostile vessels? Confirmed, Admiral. Chief, Rodriguez has verified the readings multiple times. Unknown alien fleet, massive ships heading directly for Earth. ETA is now 3 hours and 50 minutes. Cross was silent for several long seconds. Webb could see her processing the implications. Earth's entire defense fleet consisted of ships scattered across dozens of systems. Even if they recalled every vessel immediately, they couldn't possibly assemble enough firepower to face 600 alien warships. Our nearest reinforcements are 6 days away at best, Cross finally said. The home fleet has 47 ships ready for combat, but against those numbers... She trailed off, the mathematics of their situation clear to everyone listening. Webb straightened in his command chair. Admiral, requesting permission to shadow the alien fleet and report on their capabilities. The Defiant may be small, but we can gather intelligence that might help the defense effort. Granted, Captain, but Marcus, do not engage unless absolutely necessary. We need you alive to report what you learn. The transmission ended, leaving Webb alone with his crew and an impossible decision. Shadow 600 alien warships with a single patrol vessel, or abandon his post and flee to safety. For Marcus Webb, there was really no choice at all. 2 hours later, the Defiant hung silently in the shadow of a massive asteroid, its engines powered down to minimal levels. Captain Webb had positioned his ship in the Kepler belt, a debris field that would mask their energy signature from the approaching alien fleet. Through the viewports, the crew could see the first alien vessels emerging from hyperspace, like mechanical leviathans born from the void. Lieutenant Commander Stone stood beside Webb, both of them watching the tactical display in stunned silence. The alien ships were even larger than their sensors had indicated. The smallest vessels were the size of Earth's biggest battleships, while the flagship stretched nearly 4 kilometers from bow to stern. Its hull was black as midnight, covered in weapon emplacements that could level entire cities. "My God," Stone whispered. "How do we fight something like that?" Webb studied the formation carefully. The Caltharians moved with military precision, their ships arranged in perfect attack wings. But there was something about their approach that struck him as oddly familiar. They flew like a species that had never faced serious resistance, confident in their overwhelming superiority. "Chief Rodriguez, are you getting detailed scans of their technology?" Webb asked. "Yes, sir, recording everything. Their energy signatures are off the charts, but there's something interesting. Their shield harmonics follow a predictable pattern, and their engine emissions suggest they rely heavily on brute force rather than efficiency." Webb nodded, filing away that information. Every detail might prove crucial in the coming battle. He activated the ship's intercom, knowing his crew needed to hear from their captain. "All hands, this is Captain Webb. In 30 minutes, we're going to witness the beginning of humanity's first interstellar war. I won't lie to you about our chances. The aliens outnumber Earth's entire fleet by more than 10 to 1. Their ships are bigger, their weapons more powerful, and their technology centuries ahead of ours." He paused, looking around the bridge at faces he had come to know like family. Stone stood straight and determined. Rodriguez remained focused on his instruments. Engineering Chief Petty Officer Thomas Kane had come up from the engine room, his hands still covered in grease from the reactor maintenance he'd been performing. "But here's what those aliens don't understand about humanity," Webb continued. We've never been ones to back down from impossible odds. Throughout our history, humans have faced bigger enemies, more powerful foes, seemingly hopeless situations, and somehow we keep finding ways to win. The Caltharian fleet had completed its emergence from hyperspace. Supreme Commander Vorthak opened communication channels to Earth, his transmission broadcasting on all frequencies. His image appeared on screens throughout human space, a towering figure with 4 arms and cold, calculating eyes. Primitive humans. Vorthak's voice boomed across the void. I am Supreme Commander Vorthak of the Caltharian Empire. Your species has been evaluated and found wanting. You have 1 hour to surrender your worlds and submit to Caltharian rule. Resist, and we will demonstrate why 47 civilizations have fallen before our might. The transmission ended, leaving an ominous silence across human space. On Earth, Admiral Cross was coordinating the desperate defense preparations. The home fleet was moving into position around Earth and Mars, 47 ships against 600. It was mathematical suicide, but they would make their stand nonetheless. Aboard the Defiant, Captain Webb made a decision that would change the course of the battle. Instead of simply observing, he began plotting an attack course through the asteroid field. The rocks and debris that had hidden his ship could become weapons in the right hands. Captain, Stone said quietly, what are you thinking? Webb smiled grimly. I'm thinking about David and Goliath, Commander. Sometimes the smallest stone can bring down the biggest giant. Chief Kane, I need everything you can give me from the engines. Rodriguez, plot me a course through the densest part of the asteroid field. Stone, prepare all weapons. Sir, with respect, we can't possibly damage ships that size with our weapons, Stone protested. Maybe not directly, Webb replied. But we're not going to fight them like they expect. We're going to fight them like humans. The crew moved to their positions, with renewed purpose. They might be facing impossible odds, but their captain had a plan. And sometimes that was all humanity needed to work miracles. The Defiant moved through the asteroid field like a ghost, using the massive rocks as cover while Captain Webb executed his audacious plan. He had positioned his ship near a cluster of iron-rich asteroids, each one the size of a city block. What the Caltharians didn't know was that these asteroids contained rare magnetic properties that could be weaponized with the right application of human ingenuity. Engineering, give me a focused graviton pulse aimed at asteroid designation Alpha 7, Webb commanded. Chief Kane's voice crackled over the intercom from the engine room. Captain, that'll overload our main deflector array. We might not survive. The feedback. Do it anyway, Chief. Sometimes you have to break the rules to win. The Defiant's deflector array hummed with dangerous energy as it fired an overcharged graviton pulse at the massive asteroid. The pulse struck the iron-rich rock and created a cascading magnetic field that began pulling other asteroids into a rapidly accelerating chain reaction. Within minutes, dozens of house-sized rocks were hurtling toward the Caltharian fleet at incredible velocity. Supreme Commander Vorthak watched his tactical display with growing confusion as the asteroid storm approached his formation. His ships easily destroyed the first wave of rocks with their point defense systems, but more kept coming. The magnetic chain reaction had created a sustained bombardment that forced his fleet to break formation. Sub-Commander Krex, what is causing this phenomenon? Vorthak demanded. Unknown, Supreme Commander. The asteroids appear to be following an artificial magnetic trajectory. It's almost as if someone is using the debris field as a weapon. Vorthak's 4 eyes narrowed. No primitive species should possess the knowledge to manipulate gravitational fields with such precision. This suggested the humans were more technologically advanced than intelligence had indicated. While the Caltharian fleet dealt with the asteroid storm, something extraordinary was happening in Earth's solar system. Ships began emerging from hyperspace behind the alien formation, but these weren't the scattered patrol vessels Vorthak had expected. These were vessels unlike anything in Caltharian databases. The lead ship was the UES Prometheus, humanity's first experimental battleship. Its hull gleamed with adaptive armor that shifted and flowed like liquid metal. Behind it came 12 more vessels of similar design, each one incorporating technology that Earth scientists had been developing in secret for decades. Admiral Cross's voice reached Captain Webb through secured quantum communications. Marcus, meet Captain Diana, Foster of the Prometheus. She's commanding our new Titan-class battleships. Captain Foster's image appeared on Webb's screen. She was younger than Webb, with determined brown eyes and short auburn hair. Her uniform bore insignia Webb had never seen before, suggesting she commanded something beyond the regular fleet structure. Captain Webb, impressive work with the graviton manipulation. We've been monitoring your tactics and we're ready to support your attack pattern. Captain Foster, what exactly am I looking at? Those ships aren't in any registry I know. Foster smiled grimly. Project Titan has been classified for 5 years. We've been preparing for this day, developing technology specifically designed to fight superior alien forces, adaptive armor, quantum torpedoes, and something special we call the Nova Cannon. Webb felt hope rising in his chest for the first time since detecting the alien fleet. How many ships do you have? 13 Titan-class battleships, plus 40 support vessels equipped with the new technology. We're outnumbered, but we're not outgunned. The Caltharian fleet was reforming after dealing with the asteroid bombardment when the human Titan fleet struck. The first volley of quantum torpedoes tore through Caltharian shields like they were made of paper. The aliens' energy barriers, so effective against conventional weapons, couldn't adapt to the quantum fluctuations that defined the new human arsenal. Supreme Commander Vorthak watched in shock as 3 of his destroyers exploded in brilliant flashes of light. The human ships moved with impossible agility, their adaptive armor shifting to deflect incoming fire while their weapons delivered devastating precision strikes. "This is impossible," Vorthak growled. "These are not the primitive vessels our intelligence described." Sub-Commander Krex was frantically analyzing the human technology. "Supreme Commander, their weapons operate on quantum principles we've never encountered. Their armor appears to be semi-organic, adapting to each attack in real time." For the first time in his military career, Vorthak felt something he had never experienced before: doubt. The humans were not behaving like a conquered species. They were fighting like equals, using technology and tactics that challenged everything the Caltharians thought they knew about warfare. The tide of battle was turning, and both sides knew it. I've added Part 4, which features Captain Webb's brilliant use of graviton pulses to weaponize the asteroid field, the surprise arrival of humanity's secret Titan-class battleships, introduction of Captain Diana Foster, and advanced human technology, the first successful strikes against the seemingly invincible Caltharian fleet, Supreme Commander Vorthak's growing doubt and realization that humans are more formidable than expected artifacts, update type, text markdown, ID, Part 1, Story, Old, Story. The tide of battle was turning, and both sides knew it. The tide of battle was turning, and both sides knew it. Part 5. Birth of a Legend. The battle raged for 6 hours, transforming the space around Earth into a graveyard of twisted metal and burning plasma. Captain Webb had moved the Defiant into the heart of the conflict, using his ship's small size and agility to coordinate attacks between the human fleet and the asteroid field he had weaponized. His tactical genius had turned a hopeless situation into humanity's first interstellar victory. Supreme Commander Vorthak stood on his bridge, watching his fleet's strength diminish with each passing moment. 200 of his ships had been destroyed or disabled, while the humans had lost only 30 vessels. The mathematical certainty of Caltharian victory had crumbled beneath the weight of human ingenuity and determination. Captain Foster's voice reached Vorthak through an open communication channel. The human commander appeared on his main screen, her face calm but resolute. Behind her, Vorthak could see the bridge of the Prometheus, bustling with efficient activity. "Supreme Commander, Vorthak, this is Captain Diana Foster of the Terran Defense Force. Your fleet is defeated. I'm offering you one chance to withdraw from human space with your remaining ships." Vorthak's tactical officers looked at him expectantly, waiting for orders to continue the fight. But the Supreme Commander had spent decades studying warfare, and he recognized when a battle was truly lost. The humans had demonstrated technology and tactics that surpassed Caltharian understanding. More importantly, they had shown the kind of unity and determination that built galactic empires. Captain Foster, Vorthak replied slowly, his voice carrying new respect. In 47 conquered systems, no species has ever forced the Caltharian Empire to retreat. You have achieved something unprecedented.